Alright, so now to wrap up our video, we're going to first we're going to use our home page as a template, and then we're going to make a different style landing page. We're going to, of course, change our image out, and then make this text box here. We're going to remove the dark overlay of our image and make this dark overlay text image with the button right here, kind of a popular style of landing page. And then we're going to check out Elementor Pro and take a look at Generate Press Premium version also. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go back to our home page that we just finished, and we're going to save it as a template. So let's click on this icon on the right. It'll say templates when you hover over it. Click it and then click on Save Template. And then we'll make this, let's see here, homepage 3 buttons. Sounds like a good name for our template. Click Save. And there it is right there. Now we can have it available to use as a template, which we are going to do. Now we're going to go to our dashboard, and under Pages, click on Add New, and I'm calling our new page Landing 1. And over on the right hand side where it says Template, we are going to choose Elementor Canvas. What that's going to do is actually just leave a blank page for us to use Elementor as a canvas, as it says, so there won't be any header, navigation menu, or footer, anything like that. Sidebar layout, we're going to choose Content No Sidebars. 0 footer widgets, so check 0. Page builder container, we'll check full width. And we'll go ahead and disable the content title by putting a check in that box right there. Go back up here and click Publish. Then of course we'll click the blue Edit with Elementor button right there. And you notice right here we don't have anything. We have a blank canvas to work with. That is what we want. Instead of adding new section, we're going to click on Add Template. Then we're going to click on My Templates, find that Homepage 3 button template. It's a page template like it says right there. We'll click Insert, and there we go. Now I would suggest checking out what this new landing page looks like on mobile and that sort of thing. But for now we're going to remove our mobile only section right here, the second section we made. So click on the Section tab, click that red X to remove it, delete. Just like that, and then we're going to go up to the top of the page, find the light gray section tab again, click on it. It'll say Edit Section over here, and we're going to click on Advanced first of all, click on Responsive, and we're going to uncheck this Hide on Mobile button right now. Just for now, we'll uncheck it, and then if you make a mobile only version section of your top section, then of course you can play around with the responsive versions here, hiding on your tablets and mobiles and that sort of thing. I'll click Save. Now we're still editing our top section here. Now let's click on Style, and we'll close the background, and we'll click on Background Overlay, and I'm just going to click once in this classic background type. It's just going to remove the background type just like that. There we go. Now I'm going to hover over this first heading here and go to the far right and click on the red X, remove it. Do the same thing for this right here. There we go. Remove it, delete, and then we'll click on this gray section for the section with the 3 buttons here, and we'll click the red X to remove that too. There we go. Now we just have our 2 spacer bars in here. So to get our text box in there, the first thing we're going to do is click on the dots and drag the columns element over there and drop it in the middle there like this. And let's see, we have 2 columns, so what we're going to do is click on the dark gray column and click the plus sign. Now we have 3 columns. That'll be about right. We'll just leave it as is. And actually we're going to go click on the Section tab again, and then we're going to click on Style, and we're going to click on this image, and that'll go to our media library. And I've actually already uploaded an image to use. You might have to upload it. You might have to drag an image over here and drop it. I'm just going to click on this image, and I'm not really going to bother with any SEO with the title and the alt text and anything. I'm just going to click Insert Media. There we go, like that. So far so good. I think I'm going to click Save to make sure I saved everything. Alright, we're just going to use this far left column for our text and stuff and our button. So I'm going to click on the dark gray column tab right there. Then it'll say Edit Column over here, and we're under the Style. Let's click on the Classic for background type, because right now you notice we don't see anything for background overlay or anything, but when we click on Classic, then if we scroll down here, so now if we close up the background and border. Now we have background overlay because we have some sort of background. We chose a background. Now let's click on the background overlay, click on classic, click on the color box, and we'll just use the black overlay like this, and we'll just leave everything default as it is. And then we are going to drag, then we'll click on the dots and drag over a text editor. You could also drag over a heading and do it that way, but we're just going to use the text editor. And it looks like we're going to have to drop it in there and then look for the first blue box there and hold down your left mouse and drag it over. Now you can drop it in the first column there. Now we see our background overlay. And of course we can adjust this background overlay to suit our fancy, but right now let's click inside the text editor. Let's click on style first of all, and we'll click on text color. We're going to make our text white, so we'll choose white. And then we'll turn on the type. Well, actually, we're not going to turn on the typography because we're going to use the text editor for that. Go back to the content tab. I'm just going to remove all this content. Then, of course, I've got some content which I'm just going to paste in there, just like this. And the formatting is pretty good right there, just the way it is. Of course, to get that, of course, I had to play around with it a little bit. Like I had to do things like, let's see, over here in the text editor, I had to put sometimes the text wasn't lining up, so I had to actually put my mouse right here, click the backspace, and then click space, just to get the lines, the text, because there was only like one word on one line and the other words went down. So you have to play around with it a little bit to get the formatting to look the way you want it. And then, of course, I also highlighted New York. Actually, I highlighted Hey New York and changed the font size. And then I highlighted just New York there and made that part bold by clicking on bold right here in the text editor. Then I changed the text size for this second portion of our section here, right here. I made this 24 font, and then the text down below here I made 18 font, and down at this last line here I highlighted this last line only $37 if you act now, and I made that bold. And I'm just going to click save. Let's take a look at what the page looks like so far. So I'm going to click on the X over here on the left, down at the bottom left, and click View Page. It'll open up in a new tab. And not too bad so far, but we need to add our button first of all, and then we need to get rid of some of the space up on top here, and we can do that easily. Let's go back here to our Edit with Elementor screen, and we'll click on the dots. We'll find the button, and we'll drag that over and drop it in that first column if it'll let us. It's not going to let us for some reason. Yeah, it'll let us do it up on top, and then we'll drag it down below the text like that. There we go. Now over here on the left, we'll just choose maybe large for the button size, and maybe medium. We can always adjust this. And then we're going to choose justified for the button, and we're not going to choose an icon. And of course we would want to link that to somewhere a little bit later. We'll change the button text like this, and like I said, we could link that to wherever we wanted to send them, of course, to in our funnel. But this is just the first part of our funnel, our landing page. We'll click on Style. This is our normal section of our button, and I'm going to actually use a blue for that. So I'll paste in a blue color right here. There we go. Oops, I don't want to do that. I'm changing the text color instead of the button color. We'll close that out. Let's see here. Close background color. That's what we want to click on, and we'll paste that color in there. There we go. There's the background of our button. And for border type, we're not going to have a border. Border radius, we're going to leave it linked, and we're going to click a couple times in there. That's just going to round our corners. Text padding, we'll leave it linked, and we'll make that about like this. We'll adjust it the way we want it. And we can also turn on the typography and change the text size inside the button to make it the way we want it. About like that. Looks pretty good. Okay, anything else we need to do? Let's scroll down the page. We'll put a different color in for our hover color when people hover over it. Now we'll click on the background color. We'll choose that blue again, and then actually we're going to make it a little bit bluer. So let's see, we'll get a little darker. We'll hold this. There we go, like that. We'll make it a little darker blue. Click Save. Now let's go refresh our tab over here. And there's a button. If I hover over it, there we go. And of course, we want a link to somewhere. We want to send them in our sales funnel, but I'm not going to put any link in there. We'll go back here. There's a couple more things we want to do. Too much white space on top. Remember, we have that spacer element. So I clicked inside there. See the light blue line surrounding it. And we're just going to drag it over and make the spacer quite a bit less so everything goes up to the top of the page. Let's see how this looked. I'll click Save. That looks a little better. In fact, I probably want to remove a little bit more of the spacer, so I'll just drag it over a little bit more, maybe about like that. We'll click Save again, and that's pretty good the way it is right there. And actually, just looking at this, we can do a couple things maybe to move this column box over a little bit. So let's go back here to our Edit with Elementor page. First of all, content width, we could change this to full width if we wanted to. See what that does. Click Save. All right, so making it full width, we don't have any padding over here on the left now for our column. So let's go back over here. We'll hover over this box, and we'll click on the dark gray column tab, and we'll click on Advanced. And then I think what we're going to do is, first of all, because inside this text box itself, we're editing the column, remember. Inside the text box itself, the text doesn't have much padding inside the text box. So remember, that is padding. So I'm going to leave the padding length. I'm going to add some padding like this. About like that will be pretty good, because now it'll give some padding on either side and on the top. And then for the margin, we want our left margin like this, because over here on the side, that's outside of the column. Remember, margin is always outside the element. Oops, I forgot to unlink the margin, so that I'm going to go back to 0 again. Oh, I'm going to link it back and just paste in a 0 there. There we go. Now I'm going to unlink it and just click on the left, then add some margin just on the left-hand side like this. There we go, just about like that. Maybe add just a little bit more. And I think I'm going to drag this back a little bit to get it out of his face like that. About like this. Okay, now I'm going to click Save, and we'll go check out our page. And that looks pretty good the way it is. We can, of course, play around with a little bit more to get this, maybe to get this text looking a little bit better. Say if I go back here, let's see, it only has 3 words on this line right here. Maybe put a space right after the review. So I'll go back over here, click on the text editor, go here to Review. Let's see here if I can just hold down the Shift button and click Enter. And I notice like that. More amazing deal. And then let's see, where do I want to do? I'll put the cursor behind deal, click backspace once, and then click. Now that looks pretty good the way it is right there. Okay, there we got our text formatted decent enough, so I'm just going to click Save. There we go. There it looks pretty good. Now, of course, you're going to have to check out what it looks like on a mobile phone. If you're going to be, you might have to, do what we did before, make a mobile-only section, and we can change this video if we wanted to something, of course, more appropriate to a dentist. The dentist has a video. We can click in here and change our video. Well, actually, you just have to hover over this light blue box right here, because if we click inside this video, the video is just going to start. So you see this little pencil icon? Click on that. Now it says Edit Video over here. I'll just put in a new video. I think that's the one right there. There we go. There's a dental video. And then, of course, I want to change the headline and change everything else down on our landing page. Change about your dental practice, and change the images, and so on and so forth. But that gives you an idea how you can reverse engineer templates and make a landing page with a text box. All right, and actually what I'm going to do is actually save this as a template too, and I'll have this available for you guys to download too if you just want to have a quick start on having a text box like this with a landing page image. Of course, you'll have to use your own images, but I'll click Save first of all, and then I'll click Save Template. I'll put landing text box. Okay, and click Save. So you guys can go to my wphowtos.com site, and that post that I have a link for you down below the video in the video description. You can go there and get some of these templates to use on your site too if you'd like to.